Hello and welcome to the post-game show. Buccaneers fall to the Carolina Kitty Cats 21-3. It was disappointing. Let's be honest. This was a game that the Buccaneers were supposed to get back on track. What did we do? The only track we got on was the wrong track. It was disappointing from top to bottom. Yeah, we got some injuries, but teams go through injuries. A team this great should not fall to a team like that. They don't have their starting running back. They don't have their second choice wide receiver. I don't know if he's a second choice wide receiver, to be honest, but I think he is. And they're on quarterback number 4. And the Buccaneers cough up 21 points and almost a goose egg. That isn't good enough for this Buccaneers team. And I got a couple of people on the panel today that's going to come in. And let's fair, we've got to lighten the load because we've got to get it off our chests. All right. So the first one I'm going to bring in is Mr. Rick Hughes. He's going to join us, and he's got a few things he wants to say. Welcome to the stream, brother. How's it going?
How do you think it's going? How's it going? It's terrible. Listen, I'm the guy who always tries to stay positive. I'm the guy who always tries to say it's not that bad. There's reason for hope. I get it. We're still in first place. I get it. In the division, I get it. All of that, but forget it. I give up. Waving the white flag. It's over. Listen, this sucks. Okay? This sucks. When you can't run the ball for 1 yard up the gut or a sweep, you can't pass. This team can't stop the run. They didn't stop a fourth string quarterback. They can't run. They can't pass. They can't do anything. I have to bring John McKay in here. Well, other than offense, defense, and special teams, we were all right.
Yeah.
I mean,
Are you in favor of your team's execution, Rick?
I'm all in favor of my team's execution. Listen, it's a disaster. It's officially a disaster. And now I get it. Look, you lose Antonio Brown and Rob Gronkowski and Jensen and Marpet and Kappa from any team. You're going to suck. So we do. Okay? Now you add in Winfield goes out. You add in, okay, no more Sue, no more JPP. So you bring in Akeem Hicks. He's gone.
Yep.
Garland Davis is
Logan
gone.
Ryan.
Gone. This is our Buccaneer team. Yep. They play uninspired.
Yep.
They play like they're untalented.
Yep.
They play like they don't know what's going on. Tom Brady, he can yell at the offensive line or he can do whatever the heck he wants to do. He's not playing well. Okay? I'm the Brady defender. Okay? I'm the guy who usually defends Brady. You can't defend this.
Nope.
Okay? There's nothing I'm going to defend. All right? We used to always do who's the like is there a post player of the game? Is there a player of the game? Who are you going to give the player of the game to? Yeah, well, yeah. Okay. You give it to the punter. Maybe you could give it to Darden. Darden returning kicks had an okay game.
He's quiet. He's a quiet guy that doesn't seem to cut on the radar. I didn't realize that his actual stats aren't that bad. They just look bad.
Yeah.
Like, the eye test looks terrible, but apparently on paper he ain't that bad. But does that feel better to get that off your chest, Rick? A little bit.
No. I mean, I can't take up your show.
Hey, come to the aftermath tomorrow.
I could go and go and go. This sucks. This sucks. Everything about this sucks. I'm familiar with this feeling. I've been a fan of this team for years. I thought it was over for a little while longer. But nope, we're back.
Back to what it was. And I'm going to bring in our next guest who definitely wants to get her things off her chest. Touchdowns are encouraged. Mr. Teresa Baxter, my co-host from Book Wild. Welcome to the show. Hosting.
Hey, guys.
Get it out, my girl. Get it out. What did you get to watch it this time?
I did not. I got to listen to it, and I was following.
Good for you.
Yeah, I know. This is what I wrote, though. I wrote to the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. You are losing your fan base with these lackluster performances. Light a fire under bowls, bring back BA, whatever you need to do. Hell, buy tablets and pay Tom's fines for breaking them. Whatever it takes. We will not willingly go back into the losing abyss. Pay for Gronk to come back. Go get Sue. You all are dumbasses.
Yeah, I mean, no better words written. No better words written.
No, but I have a whole bunch of them back in the back.
This is the game that was. Sorry,
go. Believe this game. We had 21 yards
rushing. Last night.
It's not working. It's not working.
Stop trying to run the ball when you can't run the ball.
Exactly. Throw the flag, admit defeat, and go on with something else.
This team didn't run the football decisively last year or the year before that.
You can't pass the ball this year either. So what? You've got to choose one or the other.
Well, the stats, what I was looking at, the stats were okay for Mike and Chris Godwin. Even Russell Gage. After that, nobody had anything.
I don't even think the stats are that great for them because they didn't get a touchdown.
Mike Evans had 96 yards. Chris Godwin's at least had 43, and Russell Gage had 39. So at least they're in the double digits. Everybody else, 8, 7, 6, and 1. Those are our receiving yards, guys. That's ridiculous.
Unbelievable.
Hey, but
it's driven me to this, guys. Normally, I drink a nice, beautiful, a dark and stormy, which is rum and a ginger ale. I'm just straight on the rum now, guys.
If I could, I'd be there with you.
God damn, that was hard to watch.
Well, I was just out.
Hey, are we allowed to cuss?
Yeah.
Yeah, why not? It's early for you guys, though. It's like in the afternoon, right? For us, it's like 9 o'clock.
First of all, good afternoon, Teresa, Rick, Mr. Turnup, and of course Slick. What you just saw there was a psychedelic mushroom flashback to the Greg Schiano days with a dash of Dirk Cutter, a dash of Lovie Smith, and oh God, I mean,
helpful taking of Mike Smith.
It was bad. It was just bad. Like
the thing that frustrated me the most is when we have players out, teams expose the player that's backing up, right? And as you should. You see Isaiah McCullum there. He ain't a starter yet. He's a 4th round draft pick, and he's still figuring stuff out. So you can pick on him like they pick on Getterkey. We don't seem to do that. We went against the team last week, and I'm going to only go to last week because we know how beat up their secondary was. Their starting safety was a 7th round draft pick from last year. He should not be making those kinds of plays. Mike Evans should be dominating him, and we barely threw to him. There is something up with the Bucs, and I can't place a finger on it because it feels like it's all of the above.
Well, historically, the Bucs have always had a problem with backup quarterbacks.
I'm tired of Mike Evans every flipping game. The first time he gets hit, he's he's hurting something every freaking game. Every freaking game. This team does not. It just doesn't feel committed. It just doesn't. Listen, I said this before. Tom Brady came in year 1, changed the entire culture. Because he had one thing. He was of one sole focus, win a championship. It's not that way anymore. And the rest of the team, you can see it everywhere.
Do you think that he sat there, you watch Tom Brady's head going, oh, shit, I ruined my marriage for this? I'm saying, I know it's not just this, and we know there's more to it. There's more under the bridge than that. But you got to think every time he looks at his... that should be our slogan right now, because that should be the Buccaneers logo.
There's only 2 things good about today. Is Green Bay's losing to Washington and Atlanta lost to Cincinnati.
Oops. Yeah.
And the thing's already
so we still lead the division.
That's not true. Awesome.
We still lead the division and we suck right now. And that's
suck and we
terrible.
still lead. Yeah, yes.
Yeah, we're in
We're going to be
first.
crowned division
Woo!
champions at
Sure,
8
we're going
and
to be a
9.
lot of noise in the playoffs like this.
Nope. I keep trying to hope that the play calling looks off and the execution of those plays is even worse. Now, I don't know if the football that they're being dialed into is just uninspired and they're looking at the play calls going, I don't like that. I know that's not the attitude you should have, but you got to remember when you call plays that the players like, ooh, they'll play because they go, oh, this is that tasting number. I'm going to get the ball. I'm going to have this. It's all about me. It feels like we seem so flat. It's probably the nicest word. It's almost like we jog out. Yeah. If I describe the Buccaneers football in the last 2 weeks, and maybe just the last 2 weeks alone, I could go with other weeks too, is meh. Because we do not play inspired football. We don't look like we're fighting. We look like we're trying to get through a football game rather than actually compete in a football game. And when the game is finally on the line, the Buccaneers go, oh, we better do something. But you know what? You've lost the momentum. You've lost everything. You can't keep doing this. You're not going to keep coming from behind. It doesn't work that way.
You can't.
We're not in Ybor City.
What we need to recognize and realize as a fan base, it's time to embrace the horror. It's time to suck it up and realize no more AB, no more Rob Gronkowski, no more Marpet, no more Jensen, no more Sue, no more JPP. These are, look, okay, AB would have been a Hall of Famer if he didn't. Well, yeah. AB. Okay, Gronk, first ballot. JPP is probably going to be in the Hall of Fame.
Eventually.
Going to be in the Hall of Fame. All right. Jensen, okay, maybe not Hall of Fame, but that's an all-pro dude. Marpet, it's an all-pro dude. You lose all of that, your team's going to suck.
Yeah.
You know? But you got to remember, this team was loaded from the get-go anyway. We were still talked as favorites by a lot of the media.
Well, we weren't. We were assuming some of these guys were going to be better than they are.
Yeah,
and
we assumed that Hicks was
going
to be. Yeah.
We were assuming we'd have Julio Jones. We were assuming. I mean, I don't. Embrace the horror. This is what it is. This is us.
I get you, Rick, but I don't even look at it from that way. I don't think we suck just because of the off-season, like what we lost and what we gained or what have you. I look at it from, hang on, come on. The weapons that are still there, the talent that's still in this Buccaneers team should still be able to put up more than 3 points against a team that's struggling.
No doubt we should be better than we are. Yes.
Like, if someone like that, this is why I went on a bit of a more of a pedestrian guess of my year record. At the beginning of the season, I went with 11 and 6 because I felt we've lost something, but I think we'll get it going towards the end of the season. Now I'm looking at going, we'd be lucky to break 9 and 8.
Yeah.
Be lucky to break 9 and 8 because this should have been like you just go against a team that had big struggles and you were unable to capitalize on it. Then you go up against another team that just lost 2 offensive weapons. So they don't have their running back. So their run threat should be nullified 100%. They have a quarterback who's their 4th stringer. They have one of the wide receivers out. I don't know if he was the number 2 or he was the number 3. I don't know where Robbie Anderson, because I don't follow the Kitty Cats. It's not my team. Maybe you might know, Rick, because you're down in that way, aren't you?
I live there. Yeah, I live in Charlotte.
So is Robbie Anderson a 2nd, a 3rd? Where is he on their depth chart before he left?
No, he was 1st.
He was 1st. Okay, so I thought they had DJ Moore with number 1.
No, he was their top receiver.
So they lose top receiver, top running back, and pass catcher.
Look,
and they're down. Sorry, go ahead.
Guys, we can talk about this all day long, but the bottom line is this. They just got rid of McCaffrey. They just got rid of Anderson. Why? They're tanking.
For sure.
We just got our ass kicked by a team that's trying to lose.
They're probably sat there going, damn, we want to get number 1 pick, and the Buccaneers don't want to give it.
We just got our ass kicked by a team that's tanking.
Because I can tell you the Steelers ain't tanking. They'll always fight.
But this team.
Yes, for sure. For sure. The label the label on, if you turn you turn the Carolina Panthers back and you look at the little ticket that's on it, when you buy a pair of trousers and it says "Do not wash" or whatever, it says tanking.
Yeah.
Do not win is written on the label, and somehow they win.
Yeah. Yeah. Listen, Thursday night. Look. Oof.
And that's it. We got a short turnaround against a team that's way better than what we just faced, and it's a lot harder to step your game up when you just had your ass kicked by the team that doesn't want to win football games. And now, I mean, don't get me wrong, there's probably players on that team that want to win. That's the thing that people don't understand. I just want to reiterate this. The Carolina Panthers organization may want to tank. Those players don't.
No.
They're playing for contracts. They're playing for next day.
As an organization to, okay, guys, let's just blow this whole thing up and start over. And guys, it's bad. Now, is it impossible that what if the Bucs come out and win on Thursday? What if the Bucs win their next couple, string a few together, finally somehow or other get their crap together somehow? Hallelujah.
It's going to take a wake-up call. Someone's got to have a very good alarm clock, because right now the Bucs are sleeping and no one's waking them the fuck up.
Yeah, I was going to ask who they're getting rid of in order to make that wake-up call.
Yeah.
The defense looks no different to how it's always looked. I'm not looking at the defense.
They can't stop the run.
Yeah, okay, I'll give you that. Yeah, you're right. They're not stopping the run. And I don't think it's just Sue, though. It can't just be one player, because that means one side would be solid and the other side wouldn't. So I need to really sit there and break down the tape on which side they really exposed. But it was right. A lot of people are going down the middle because they are scheming to take Veyer out of the game.
They had 178 rushing yards.
So do you know what I would do if they're scheming to get Veyer out of the game? Go to a four-man set. Give him a little bit of help next to him. You can't double up a guy when you got another guy.
Right.
So I don't know if people know their football terminology, but I'm putting one in a 2-eye and one in a 3.
Right.
That's where I'm going. Free technique in a 2-eye. So you've got Vita Vea's going to 2-gap from the 2-eye. Look, I'm talking about stuff that's good on paper. It doesn't necessarily mean it will actually work in a thing. But the Buccaneers right now can't stop the run to save their lives against running backs that have stupid names. We're not talking about brand name running backs anymore. We're not talking about a run CMC. We're not talking about a Saquon Barkley, who we used to stop. We used to stop players like that in their tracks. Now we got nobodies who are 5th-round draft picks from last year or this year making a name for themselves. Making a name for themselves against this fabled Buccaneers run stuffing defense. That is no longer run stuffing.
I used to go on my show and say, I'm not worried about whoever. Everybody be like, oh, we're playing Saquon Barkley this week. Oh, we're playing this guy this week. I used to go on my show and just say, stop it. Stop it. Stop talking about that. Okay, we got this. We're on the run. We can stop the run. Now we can't stop anything.
We couldn't hold water. If it rains, we're going to be flooded out.
It's unbelievable. Unbelievable. All right. I came on, wanted to do this. Vent. I thought I'd feel better. I don't. It sucks.
Especially since it's in your own.
Are you a drinker, Rick? Do you drink alcohol?
Maybe now.
Well, what's your point?
You weren't on the show when I got drunk one night on purpose.
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
That was funny.
That was funny. All right, brother. Have a good night, good day, good rest, or whatever. Let's go watch something else. And forget.
Washington is 36 seconds away from the win.
What's that?
Washington is 36 seconds away from beating Green Bay.
Okay. All right. I mean, Aaron Rodgers and Tom Brady suck. Welcome to 2022.
On the pregame show on Fox, Sean Payton had good things to say about Tom Brady, so I'm blaming him. He put that
You know why? Because Tom Brady's saying he's not retiring. He's like, where can I go that I can snag Tom Brady at?
Right.
Now Tom Brady's saying, I'm not retiring. I think the Buccaneers might be gone. I wish you did retire.
You think Brady might, after this year, say, I'm not leaving like this?
If he does, I think he'll do. If the Buccaneers do not make the playoffs and do not do anything, like as in they really stall out and have like the nightmare of seasons, I think he goes elsewhere. But where he goes, I don't know.
No, even if they make the playoffs, they go, they go 8-9.
But how many times are you going to do that? How many times? Like this last year,
it's not a matter of how many times.
Yeah.
Go in, you get your butt kicked.
How many times he wants to do it?
Right. I don't know.
Rick, I'm going to leave you with this one thing. Before you said one thing I wanted to leave you with is you remember when we first got Brady and everyone's like, oh, it's a bit like when the Wizards, and I'm not a big basketball fan, got Michael Jordan, and Michael Jordan never lived up to the potential of what he was supposed to be.
Right.
And that's what all general NFL fans were saying. That's what's going to happen. And obviously, he leads us to the championship. And then the next year, we have a good season where we're only a play or two away from really like punching it big again. This year feels like the Michael Jordan Wizard year. It's just not there.
It's not the same thing, only in the sense.
No, I know, but I'm trying to put an apple and an orange together on the same display.
Well, yeah, I mean, he did win a championship. We were really good last year, so
No,
I don't
but
compare those two things.
Sure.
Yeah,
Guys, 29 seconds left. Green Bay's getting the ball back.
All right. Have a good night.
Rick, where can we catch you?
I don't know. Catch me at lunch at Twin Peaks on Monday. Have a good one, guys.
Bye.
Yeah, man, much appreciated. Always a pleasure to have you on, brother.
See you.
See you, man. Wow. That's probably a game you're going to miss. You're not going to watch the highlights of that one, are you, Teresa?
No. I think I've seen the highlights, and that was the pregame show.
That was the pregame show. Let's have a little look at the comments. I didn't really get a chance to go through them, but we got Fire Sancho for sure. Offense is disjointed without a run game. Coaching is a deer in headlights. We do look a little lost. It just seems so. The best way I can describe it, the Buccaneers don't know what to do. It's almost like they've never played football before. It's almost like they all got the flu.
It's like watching the Keystone Cops. I don't know if anybody's old enough to reference that.
That one's not for me there. I do apologize.
Yeah, it's just a bunch of people running around not doing anything,
The only way I can describe it is, when you turn around to kids and scream food and they all just go mad and just run around everywhere. That's what the Buccaneers offense looks like right now. Just there's no rhyme or reason to it.
But they're not running towards the food. They're just running.
They're not running towards it. No one wants to eat. Definitely, for sure.
Everybody, if you're on here, please hit the like, share it, give us comments. We always love the comments. So
for sure. Look, guys, I'll go through a couple of comments now. Remember, hit that like button, strip the subscribe button, and sack that notification button. And of course, you can always intercept me and Teresa in the comments, and we appreciate it. And if we haven't got to your comment, we will get to it because we're going through them right now.
Mm-hmm.
The Buccaneers are a joke, which is ironic because it's Spooktober. The coaches should resign out of decency and respect to the game. They won't because they're earning shitloads of money.
Yeah.
So that's not going to happen. And also, it doesn't necessarily fix anything. Just because you have a coach out doesn't necessarily mean everything goes squeaky clean the next week. I can't imagine many teams have canned their coach and all of a sudden they win a Super Bowl. I don't think it works like that. Todd is not a good head coach. He is only a capable, alas, defensive coordinator, period. Some people are. Monty Kiffin never was a head coach.
No.
And is considered one of the greatest minds of defensive football.
Absolutely.
Especially at the national football level. And of course, he's constantly being what's the word? He's like a specialist to his son, Lane Kiffin. I think he's Ole Miss. He's always going there as like a special assistant to kind of help coach the defense. And he may be out of it, but he's not out of coaching completely.
No.
So yeah, some people just are, and there's nothing wrong with that. Like if someone turned around to me and said, "Steve, the only thing you'll ever be will be a DB coach for the rest of your life for the National Football League," I'm happy with that. I'll take that. Yeah. But of course, you're always going to try and reach for the stars. You want to see if you can do it.
Yeah.
And Coach Bowles gets himself a good offense, a defense that's not massively different from last year. It's not
Right.
massively different from
We
last
lost Sue and we lost JPP.
year. JDP. And on paper, yeah, they probably shouldn't have gone that. They went a bit cheaper, in my opinion. But let's face it, those decisions were made while Bruce Arians was still at the helm. They weren't Todd Bowles' decisions. Now, Todd Bowles, for all we know, might have went to bat and went, "I want Sue," and they went, "No, we want to go with someone a bit younger, someone a bit more savvy, someone a bit more." So we ended up going getting Hicks, which seemed like a slam dunk on paper.
Oh yeah, on paper. Except now he's hurt and sitting around.
And I never want to get after players for being hurt, but he has.
I'm not saying that, but I mean,
no.
Decision there.
That's what I mean. I agree with you. It's just, and we don't like to get after players because they get hurt, because that's what happens. I always say, if you've got a history, then it's a problem. So when people see a player fumble a football and they go, "Oh, that person needs to be cut," I'm like, no. Take a deep breath. Have a look at this guy. If he's fumbling on a regular basis, then yes, there's a problem. If he's not fumbling on a regular basis, guess what? Someone just made a very good football play. And it happens, because guess what? The Buccaneers have lived off those two.
Right.
There have been games where we've been out of it and Levante comes in and punches that ball out and we're like, yes, get in. And their fans are probably like, get rid of that guy. He's not good enough.
Mm-hmm.
He probably is good enough. It's just, you've got to make sure it's not a habit.
Right.
If it's a habit, you got to try and coach them out of it. If you can't coach them out of it, they got to walk.
Bucs
The
Skull
Bucs
Gang
stink.
put in several comments in a row. Bucs stink. Today they did, absolutely.
They did. They stunk it up. Someone should, the Bucs should fire someone. It's a knee-jerk reaction, I think.
Who?
Exactly. I think you got to bring BA from upstairs.
Yeah.
You got to bring him back, because I still I'm still here. I got one. This is a red pen. It's ready to roll. Bruce, I will lend you my red pen.
Mm-hmm.
Get to that game plan. Scribble all over it. Annoy everybody, because apparently that's what you did. Annoy everybody and get this offense back on track, because we look lethargic, slow, and we don't want it. If someone turned around and said the Buccaneers were living off a Super Bowl, it looked like it today.
Bruce is probably looking really good to all those players that we're complaining right about now.
All those fans as well, who probably went, "Oh yeah, finally he's gone," because you know what we all thought? We thought we were going to get an unadulterated version of a Leftwich Brady offense, because we know, and this is why I don't want to put all the blame on Leftwich, because when the Buccaneers lose, it's Leftwich's fault. When the Buccaneers win, it's all Tom Brady, and people turn around, "Oh well, you know, Tom Brady's calling the plays." How many times you've read that comment?
Mm-hmm.
A lot. So if Tom Brady's calling the plays, he's calling a shit game. Fact.
Yeah.
And if it's Leftwich calling it, Tom Brady's not responding to it and going.
I don't see Tom Brady really calling those plays that we're seeing, because it doesn't make any sense.
No.
That's not how he plays, and that's not how he ever wanted to play.
It looks like we're trying to capture some sort of New England type of offense, but it doesn't suit the personnel that we have. Like third down and you're hitting Fournette before the sticks.
Right.
I get the goal in mind in this, but when it's urgent, and we're talking urgency here, we're not talking like, oh, you're only down by a score, or you're only down by nothing. The scores are level. Yeah, that's a shot that if it doesn't make it, hey, no worries. We live to fight another drive. When you're down 2 scores and you have put up diddly squat, you do not throw that ball. You wait till people get to the sticks and then you throw the ball.
Then you throw the ball. Yeah.
Or you wait till they're in a leverage position where they catch the ball and all they have to do is step and they've got it.
Now, folks, keep in mind, I didn't even watch the game. I'm looking at this off the NFL Game Center. And even I'm sitting there going, what?
Bucs need to make a trade or pick the panic button. No, that's the easy thing to do. Trade for who?
Yeah,
I don't like this whole.
Who are you trading? Number one,
you can't press the panic button. Calm heads prevail. That's a fact. Yeah. I'm sure Jason Light is now sat down. There's a bit of pressure on Jason Light because his name's not been spoken. He's there like, okay, we made this decision to allow Coach Bowles to inherit a good team. Right. He inherited a good team on paper. All right.
Yeah.
There's no excuse for what's coming out of this Buccaneers offense and defense right now. No excuse. We're beat up. Guess what? Every team in the NFL is beat up. You just went against an offense that lost its wide receiver, lost one of its star wide receivers and its star running back. And they still put over 160 yards on you.
Fourth quarterback.
Fourth choice quarterback in PJ Walker. No disrespect to PJ Walker. Well done for you. I hope you feel great. I hope you're popping a bottle of champagne, because for you that was a great game and you deserve all the flowers. However, for the Buccaneers defense, you did not take advantage of a 4-string quarterback. You didn't take advantage of that.
But the Buccaneers have never been able to beat.
No, we do have a bad habit. NFC South trash. Not yet. We're getting there. We're getting there.
Well, unless he's speaking about the whole NFC South, because
yeah. That's a fair fact. That's a fair fact. Bucs School Gang in the house is going with Bucs going to win Thursday. Is the Bucs going to win? They need to. They absolutely need to. If they lose this game, it's a hard hole to dig out when you are 3 and 5.
Yeah, your next game is the Rams, who, I mean, they're struggling themselves, but they're not that bad.
Nope. And we've seen what? Yes, we got the game in Germany, which will be a tough one too.
Yep. I bet we lose the bye week.
That's how. Yeah. How tanking? Bucs can tank. Can Bucs tank now? No, it's not. It's not over until it's over. I would say you got to look mid-season before you even consider. And I never want my team to tank. I've got too much damn pride. I'm too darn stubborn. I don't care. Like, if you beat us and we only win 2 games, fair enough. But I will do everything in my power to make sure my team wins. I don't care about no tanking.
The last time I heard people wanting this team to tank is when they had the shot at Jameis Winston, the first-round pick.
Mm-hmm.
The first round pick. That's the last time I heard people wanting us to tank.
And this is the thing. We don't know what's going to go on with Brady, and there's too many variables. We're not there yet. Can we not talk about tanking yet? Jesus. Coaching is an issue, dude. Yeah, absolutely. Coaching is an issue. It doesn't seem well coached. Look, poor execution comes down to players not wanting it and bad coaching. That's what poor execution comes down to. Bad play calling comes down to bad play calling, and that is based on the coordinators themselves. So at the end of the day, Buccaneers need to get something else. Bucs should work out Jimmy Graham this week. If I had to pick a tight end, and I want to give a little shout out to Cade Otton, who had a couple of nice ones. I think he needs to be used a lot more. He's shown that he can take the ball. I want to see more of him before, but if I was going to go with a tight end right now, I'm going to let Carl Rudolph go, and I'm going to go and chase Jared Cooks. Jared Cooks is a pure passing tight end. He's someone you can stick in the slot if you need to, or what's called a nasty set, where he's just disjointed from the line.
Yeah.
And I think he will receive really well, and he will be cheap.
My question on Jimmy Graham is, why isn't he with somebody?
That's the same with Jared Cook, I guess. Everyone right now is, you can argue that. But hey, you can work them out. Bring them both. Who works out the best?
Yeah.
Tom Brady will tell you which one he feels is the better one out of the 2.
Oh, yeah. Who he might have a rapport with. Hell, I'm saying we just go kidnap Gronk and make him play. I'm
I like it. Bucs need to make a trade for someone.
Didn't we
I think you meant for someone. Okay. Look, if you don't have a player in mind, you can't say that, because that's just trading for the sake of trading. If you have someone in mind, please put that name down, because that's something we can talk about. We can't talk about it if you just said trade for someone. That's like me turning around, the Buccaneers should just win a game. Well, it's easy to say it, but there's more to it than that. The Bucs are gonna have to get in the OBJ. No.
I don't think so. I think he's going back to the Rams.
Look, I'm going to put everyone in the real world. You're OBJ. You're considered a talented wide receiver, because otherwise people wouldn't be saying things like, we need to get after him. He's a talented wide receiver. I wouldn't be surprised if he came here, but I don't think we actually need him. At the end of the day, the Buccaneers aren't utilizing the talent that they currently got. It's not that they aren't making plays. Yeah, there's a few execution issues, but there's also some execution issues from the quarterback too. Mike Evans had a very good jump catch, and it was still too high for him. I mean, how do you overthrow a 6'5" wide receiver who can leap?
Yeah,
played basketball.
I didn't see that. So.
Yeah, he misses him on a very deep route, and there's one where Mike Evans kind of just slows it up a little bit and doesn't get it. So, here's what it is.
Yeah.
Brady's career may end like Brett Favre's at this point. It's sad. It's true sadness. Well, you know what? You have the opportunity to write your own narrative, and that's the position he's in.
I would say that Brett Favre took it too far. I don't think Brady's taken it too far now. He's gone from the Patriots to the Bucs. Now, if he goes to someone else,
yeah,
he's on par with Brett Favre's.
I think, and it's not just that; it's the case of what he's done since he's left. So he left New England. They went to the playoffs, and they lose in the wild card round, I believe.
Mm-hmm.
Champion round, the divisional round. I can't remember. He lost in one of the rounds. It was their first game, and it was against Tennessee. He gets that picked off, that play picked off, run it in, and it killed the game off.
Right.
And then he comes to the Bucs and wins a championship. He then goes next year and wins a playoff game and then loses to the eventual champions. That's not exactly a bad way to go out.
No.
Realistically, you won a championship, you just didn't win the second championship. Okay, that's fine. If he leaves here on a losing record or a very poor season and then goes somewhere else and does the same, then yeah, we can have that conversation. Right now, he can walk away and he's always going to be. We don't have 7 Super Bowls. That guy could probably lose 7 back-to-back seasons and he'd still be seen as the GOAT. Problem is, Tom Brady's got to figure out when it's time to give it up.
Let's face it, Favre didn't have the championships that Brady has either.
Exactly. He just had a reputation for being the gunslinger.
Mm-hmm.
Bring back Bruce. Absolutely. I think he needs to come down with that red pen and do me some favors.
Yeah. Come
Both
on.
Need to burn Raymond James.
Let's not burn Raymond James.
Look.
That's not a good idea.
That doesn't mean anything. I'll tell you one thing. I told you that I have a long-standing thing that I do is if we lose a game, which I change a jersey. If the Buccaneers keep fucking losing, I will not be able to wear a jersey on game day because I'll have none left. I don't have 17 jerseys, guys. Come on, you need to start winning games.
Yeah, exactly.
Otherwise, this should be me in a t-shirt, and I can't. I'm repping my mic, and this is the only one oh man, it sucks. Let's trade Sean Payton. I don't think we need to trade him right now. He doesn't belong to anybody.
Yeah.
He's a freelancer. You could bring him to the Bucs. I don't think he'd come here, but
I don't think he would either.
He always pouts too.
Well, like I said, I was seeing him on the pregame, and he was saying out of the two, between Rodgers and Brady, that he has the most faith in Brady pulling through this. But he you could see it was almost killing him to have to say something good.
Oh yeah, for sure. Washington win. Washington win against Green Bay. So one of my friends in my fancy leagues that I do will be very happy because they are a Washington family.
Steven Glasgow, where you been?
That was a pathetic offensive display. Not only offensively, though, we were poor defensively too. We still gave up 21 points against a team that had a 4th-string running back. A 4th-string quarterback and a 2nd-string running back, and only one star wide receiver on their team. That's been a team that's only won 1 game. So as far as I'm concerned, we were piss poor across the board.
We were.
Byron Leftwich is being exposed. And Teresa, if my language is getting out of hand, you tell me off, yeah?
Go for it. Go for it. You know what? You never hear me say I'm fucking pissed. I'm done.
Get out. I'm sure if you watch that game, you would be coming on here seething.
Oh yeah, it's probably
because I know what your touchdowns are encouraged. That's my quote when I think of you. Touchdowns are encouraged. That's the only thing I associate.
We didn't even get one.
We didn't get one. We didn't get Teddy. And I just want to add to all the people that saying, sorry, there's a fly there. Tom Brady needs Gronk. If Tom Brady's the GOAT, he doesn't need Gronk.
Mm-hmm.
He's got Mike Evans, Pro Bowl level wide receiver, all pro level wide receiver. And 8 1K seasons back to back, red zone machine. Yeah. Got him.
Godwin.
Chris Godwin, who's been up and down a little bit, but he's been solid. He is a solid, great number 2. You got Russell Gage, who is a super solid slot. The only thing the Buccaneers are missing is an elite tight end. Now, we don't know if that's part of the whole new game plan because they don't seem to throw to tight ends very often.
Not often.
So maybe that's the thing that the Buccaneers need to look into. Do we need to put that to look? The teams that are having a lot of success offensively use their tight ends.
Mm-hmm.
If you think of an offensive juggernaut right now, bar the Rams, they all have a solid tight end, or at least try to get the ball to their tight end. I mean, the Rams got Tyler Higbee; he gets used. But any team worth its salt has a good tight end on the shoulder, ready to rock and roll. We don't, or we're not utilizing that guy, and that's why I want to see a little bit more of K. Darton. And if K. Darton's not ready, go and get a Jared Cook and see if we can get something cooking with that boy. Let's keep going through these comments then. Yeah. Byron Leftwich is being exposed as a subpar offensive play caller. Yes, absolutely, Stephen Glasgow. Absolutely.
Run, pass, kick.
The problem we have right now with this Buccaneers team is this is a guy that was almost touted for a head coaching role. Didn't get it. Sucks to be him.
Yeah.
So he has an opportunity. And the biggest slight on Byron Leftwich's name is the fact that he coaches the GOAT. So people go, oh, yeah, he's automatically going to be good. He's automatically going to be a good offensive coordinator because he's got so much talent. He's got so much skill. He's got so much greatness around him. He's only going to succeed. If you can't succeed with this much greatness around you, no one will care. And no one will take the time to bring you in as their offensive coordinator, or you're going to go back to being a quarterbacks coach.
Yeah.
Because that's the next step. When you don't succeed, you take a step back. Your step back will be a quarterbacks coach.
We've got manage to go. Come in. Buff Curry 813 Turner. He'd like to be able to speak to this.
Yeah, I'm going to bring him in. I didn't know he was. Here we go.
He's back.
AJ Turner, Buff Curry, the man in the house. I know he's going to unload on this one. Unload, baby.
You are. Well, so Glazers need to be serving Leftwich papers as we speak right now. Leftwich got to go. Fucking awful. Disgrace. He doesn't need to be coaching anybody. We forget he was a sub-bar quarterback when he played. When he was in Jacksonville, Fred Taylor carried him. Maurice Jones-Drew carried him. He's that guy that looks like he's decent, but he's surrounded by a lot of talent. He's not good. This was asinine. This game was fucking atrocious. Why are you, in God's name, why are you trying to establish a run? It's not happening. You don't have the pieces yet. The passing game was there. We had it. The Panthers feared Mike Evans. The Panthers feared Chris Godwin. But you know what they didn't fear? The predictability of the play calls. Ass. That's all. I think it was just ass. You knew what was going to happen. There was, and people were trying to give Brady, okay, Evans and Brady had a little miscommunication. That's just football. If you don't play the game, it happens all the time. It's what you do afterwards. Why are you running in the fucking red zone? Where is the again? I know we have our disagreements. The spread and the crossing routes would have destroyed them. This game, it would have completely annihilated them. They played soft, they played vanilla, and then let's go to bowls. In God's name, why are you doing zone coverages? Why? It was irrelevant. Play man. PJ threw one deep shot and you got scared. It was just. This was disgrace. This was worse than the Steelers.
It is worse than the Steelers because the Steelers at least had won 2 games before they got to us.
Yeah. This is a disrespect. So if I'm the Glazers, you just I'm not saying fire Bowles, but you definitely gotta let Leftwich go. There are a ton of so much talent, talented OCs out there that would love to take this team to the next level. He doesn't have it. He got to go. And Bowles should be on the hot seat though, because I saw no fire today. I just saw bullshit. And then what infuriated me more is when the players were hyped after they got a stop. I'm like, you're fucking losing. What are you hyped about?
Mm-hmm. I'm talk- we talked last night that the Buccaneers dysfunct of a defensive leader that holds people accountable. And need I say more? Where's my JPP who's going to put people in check? Look, I don't disrespect anything that Levante David does because he's a lead by example guy and he's quiet. That's just his vibe. And there are different types of leaders, but the Buccaneers don't have a leader in the team that goes, guys, we're fucking making this play. Why didn't you make that play? What did you do? Like my thing when I coach, or even when I'm playing, I pull up a guy when he makes a mistake. So, do you know what you did wrong? And he went, no. I went, right, come with me. I'll show you what you did wrong. If he knows what he's done wrong, it's like, do you know how to fix it? Mm-hmm. If he can give me the answer, how to fix it. I was like, right, you're good. Don't do it again. You'll get another chance, but don't do it again. Mm-hmm. And that's the difference. You need to have an accountability to go, guys, you can't cough up that play. 21 points on our defense and over 160 yards on the ground. Over 160 yards, and that's the worst. I would say on paper, as far as I can tell, I haven't checked against stat per game. That's probably the worst the Buccaneers have done since the Bowles era, as in since he was either defensive coordinator or head coach.
I'm gonna tell you what they need, and hear me out. They need a player to say, coaches, what the fuck are you doing? See, this is the problem. Instead of telling the players what we need to do, because if I'm a player, I would go to the Bowles and Leftwich and say, hey, guys, you can't tell me to do something that I'm not good at. Isn't this your job? What the fuck are you here for if you don't know my best abilities and you can't read something? This is what I'm saying. Somebody needs to go and tell the coaches, you guys are fucking awful right now. This is stupid. This is asinine. No, this is what we should run. But the problem is we have this hierarchy perception that coaches know all. They know what they're doing, and they don't. This is embarrassing because you know what the first thing is the media is going to run to is Brady having a crisis. Is the team doing this? Is the team in despair? No, the coaching staff, they got to get their heads out of their asses. And I'm about to give you a hot take. And as a black man, I'm saying this. If Leftwich was someone, if it's his color that's keeping them in there. Let's think about this. The Buccaneers staff is an all-black, for the predominantly. So they want to keep that going because it's scarce in the league today. So, but I'm all for who is good and who is not. Leftwich has shown you he is not the guy. Even with Jameis, as much as a turnover machine he was, he still produced. That's not Leftwich. That's the talent. Because before Leftwich got there,
he's already doing the same thing.
So this is my point. Fuck the politics. This is football. And the NFL is a business. And when you don't take care of your business, you need to be replaced. Done. That's it. He's not taking care of business. You have Brady.
The fault is with One Buck Place.
Yes.
From the owners all the way down. They need to bring BA back. He wasn't afraid to make some weird calls, No,
and sometimes you just need. It's the lack of creativity that we see across the board. The defense isn't playing well. Yeah, it's a little beat up, but it's not beat up. And we still made plays last year, and we're not making them this year. Look, the way I look at it is, this was the golden opportunity to rewrite the narrative of saying, you know what? You were all saying that we're washed up. Watch this. And we go bang, 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 bang against a team that's beat up. We get our tails up. We get rocking and rolling. And then we go on the Ravens going, yeah, we're ready to win this game. Right now, we're there going, I don't know if we can win this game. We're a short turnaround. We're beat up. And we just coughed up, a point differential of 18 points? 18 points we lost by? That's a lot. Losing it by 1 or 2, it's a bitter pill to swallow. It's a horrible pill to swallow when you're being ass beat by a team that has no right kicking your ass.
That's right.
Yes, I think
so. For me,
will we start seeing billboards to fire the coach?
I don't know if it gets to that, but
Don't know we're there yet.
there's definitely going to be an outpouring in social media for sure, because that's how billboards are probably a little bit outdated. I don't think anyone cares, but you're going to see a lot of people posting in those post game, probably the post game just now that's just gone on, and you're probably going to see every single every presser is going to have people going fire Leftwich, fire this person, fire that person, because that's the knee-jerk reaction, right? I'm not saying they're wrong. What I'm saying is the Buccaneers need to figure out what works and what doesn't work. And if it takes bringing BA to come down from his office and fix that offense and help them out, then by all means, go and do that. But the Buccaneers in the future know they can't rely on Leftwich right now. He is not ready.
Right.
BA bigs him up. Absolutely. Look, I've got no problem with the fact that he was a failed quarterback. Most offensive coordinators are failed quarterbacks in their career. Usually, good quarterbacks get the TV money. Yeah, that's why Tom Brady ain't going to be no quarterback coach. He's going to take the TV money because it's way bigger and it's less time consuming. So I'm not worried about that because most offensive coordinators are failed NFL quarterbacks for the most part. Not all of them, but most of them. So I don't have a problem with that. What I have a problem with is the fact that he is unable to grasp how to take on a team that has weaknesses.
Right.
And I'm only going to go back to Nick. The defense he went up against today wasn't great or anything, but it's not bad. It's not a terrible defense. It's more terrible on offense. But this was your golden opportunity to rewrite the narrative and say, yeah, you think I'm a bad play caller? Watch this. Because that's how I would take it. That's how I would take it to myself. I would read that stuff and be like, oh, they don't think I'm a good DC? Watch this. And I'll do what I can.
Yeah.
And you know when you said players wanting to say things, or sorry, let me rephrase. Players wanting to have their piece. That comes down to BA because BA is very much like we're coaches, we lead the team, you guys put up and shut up kind of thing. That's always been the vibe. So I don't think that's going to change. But what you do as a player is you go, coach, I don't think this is working. I want to fix this. What about this? Or what about that? And I'm the kind of guy I'm a players coach, so I listen to that. My players would tell me that they're burnt out, and I go, right, okay, we're not going to run this anymore. We're going to just have a chill moment. We're going to do skeleton, or we're going to do 7-on-7 instead of just grinding out. Instead of grinding out tackle practice. So you listen to your players and go, okay, they're struggling with this. They like this. And I've even turned around to my players on the day and gone, what do you like? What do you want me to run? And they'll go, oh, can you run a bit more of this, and this? I was like, I'll call it, but you got to play it. Yeah. You got to play it. And most of the time, those players respond because those players are like, oh, coach believes in us. Coach is going to let us play how we want to play. So you go, okay, what do you want me to run? And they'll go, can you play cover 2? Okay, we'll play cover 2. Boom. And they excel at it. Awesome. Yeah. Give me a reason not to call it, because if you suck at it, then I'll go to what I think is going to work. But you come up to me and go, coach, I like a Sam Blitz.
It was awful. It was no creativity, no passion, no nothing. This is where I say sometimes it does take a player. Right now, it's nothing but ego. Bowles continue to do things his way. Like you said, the BA thing is like, well, we're going to do it this way. No, sometimes it has to take a player. And sometimes I don't mind if the player goes over there.
Mm-hmm. And the thing with BA, he didn't want to sign someone like what the wide receiver called? Antonio Brown. He didn't want him. He did not want Antonio Brown.
No, he didn't.
But he sucked it up and went, this is what my guy wants. I want to succeed. I want to win a Super Bowl. I will do what's the best interest of this team. And that's what he did. And I think that's what this coaching staff needs to go and go, right, we're in a bit of crisis moment now, guys. Rather than hitting the panic button, I want to know from you what works, what do you think works, and what don't you like? And they'll go, well, this sucks, but I like this, and I like this, and I like this. And it's the same with the offense. You turn around and go, guys, what plays do you don't like running? What plays uninspire you? And I know there's people going, oh, well, they're here to do a job. They should just put up and shut up. No, I'm telling you, if you call a play call that players like, they go, ooh, I'm going to get a taste of this, they will play their hearts out. You give them uninspired football, they won't turn up. They'll play half-assed.
Question here. Mike Evans catches that first deep shot. Is the outcome different?
No, because you can't put it all on one game. You can't put it all on one thing.
You get that shot. You get that adrenaline going at that point. So
but you can't say that for the whole team. You can say it for that moment.
You catch that offense on fire.
For sure. It helps, but you can't. And this is why it's because we're talking in hindsight, yeah? And I hate doing that because hindsight is like, if we did this and if we did that and if we did this and if we did, well, we didn't. So it's irrelevant. And I love the question, what if? But at the same time, you got to be realistic. You don't know. And we don't. I think Buff Curry's on a bit of a delay on the rest of us.
Yeah, I think so too, Buff. You're just you're stopping. You're freezing. So
yeah, he's frozen. He looks very thoughtful right now. Let's have a look at a few more of these comments. Here we go. I mean, with draft capital, what would you be able to make a trade with? It depends on what you want to trade for. Like, no one's giving me answers of what they want to trade for and what they you got to give me something here. It's like just saying. I see if he said anything else.
Oh, he said a lot.
Brady here, but like the last thing is like Brady sweepstakes, the OBJ sweepstakes, the Brady's career. Look, I have no problem with the Buccaneers if they want to go and trade for someone, but you got to give me a name and you got to give me a team. You got to give me what you think that player's worth. And the problem with football fans is, I'm going to be brutally honest here, guys. We all think players are worth a lot less when we're trading for them, and they're worth a heck of a lot more when they're ours. The amount of people who turn around and go, why don't we trade Scotty Miller for like a third-round draft pick? And I'm like, because he's not worth a third-round draft pick. He's just not. He's in his final year, and he's on the team. It's not going to change. Right. He's in his final year of his career this year with the Buccaneers. Why would you trade a third-round pick for a guy who was drafted 6th that doesn't get a regular 500 yards?
Yeah.
If he gets 500 yards and 3 touchdowns, there's an argument for it. But there's no argument for it right now for him. He's not in that conversation. But Buccaneers fans, in the most part, seem to think our players are worth a lot of draft picks in draft capital. And we can just go, this Mickey Mouse player that we've never used before, 4th-round pick. Nah. No one's trading for him. They're waiting to cut him.
There's free agents out there. We don't need to make a trade for anybody else.
No.
Because anybody isn't going to trade anybody good.
Trade to get younger. Get younger where? Giant Bucs school gang. Tell me where. Where do you want to get younger?
He's on the line. He's on the line waiting to come in.
Okay, I'll bring him in a sec. I'm just going to quickly go through these comments because we're being dwarfed by comments here.
Oh, yeah.
Giants to the Jets better than us. Washington better than us. This sad, yeah, for sure. Wonder we see billboards. You said that one. Someone will be fired if miss playoffs. Oh, for sure. Mike Evans catches that for we got that one. Mike Evans caught touchdown. Is it time to start card draft? No. Quite simply. Maybe spark offense. No, I don't think it does. Todd Bowles needs to go. Todd Bowles isn't going nowhere. I can tell you that much. He will have an entire year. It's just the way it is. Gave them big contract. Bowles, like 5-year deal for sure. And that's it. You got to remember the Buccaneers got to pay him when he leaves. So for 4 years, he can make money. Surprise, surprise. Don't sign guys to big deals straight away. Start off small. Start off with a 2-year deal. Show me what you can do with this talent.
An option.
Exactly. Option. If you could turn around and say, I got you a contract, 1-year contract, but if you make the playoffs and you win 2 playoff games, you automatically get guaranteed a 3-year deal. Automatically. If you don't, then we have a discussion. And we iron it all out. I don't know. Alex Schomburg, playing zone is what killed us in so many games. Yeah, sure, it is. We don't play zone very well.
Right.
I'm a huge fan of zone. A lot of teams play zone and it's successful, but it doesn't work in this team. It doesn't work with the makeup of this defense.
Nope.
We stuck with him for 5 years.
Yes, we are.
Yep. Jason Light will be in the hot seat to hire clowns. Look, at the end of the day, I'm not going to hit at Jason Light for it, because at the end of the day, Jason Light sees the eyeball test. The eyeball test says both of them could coach. We all thought these guys could coach.
Mhm.
Like, not many people thought Leftwich was a fraud. Nobody saw Bowles as a fraud. In fact, most people said he just inherited a very bad team at the Jets. 90% of the media said that he was a good enough coach. He just inherited a bad team.
Right.
So he inherits a good team, and he's not putting up yet. So he needs to figure that out, because we started half-heart, and we've just got colder and colder and colder, and the plays, the level of talent that we're playing against has got weaker. We should be getting stronger, not struggling. We're like treading mud right now. We're sprinting, we've fallen over, and we're limping to the finish line. That shouldn't be us. This is my fault today, guys. Bucky's losing. I opted for the leopard print. Oh, for goodness sake. Instead of the lucky red one I always... Well, get that lucky red one on, boy. I'm just going to... let's bring this guy in, because I think the comments might be faster than I can speak at this point. So, let's bring in Bucs Skull Gang in the house. He's in our house. How are you today, sir?
I'm sad, depressed, disappointed.
Yeah.
I will do a eulogy on...
You're
on
drinking
the
too?
game.
I'm about to have already cranked me up a bit. I'm drinking too as we're speaking.
What are you drinking, bro?
Beer, Bud Light.
Rum. Black magic. I'm hoping the magic takes effect.
Depression, I know. That's when you drink for depression.
It's a hard day.
But look at this. Toad Balls. Toad Balls didn't deserve the coaching job. I'm gonna be real. You called it a 0 outlets in the NFC divisional round. You get the head coaching job right after that. Really? Calling it a bad defensive play, and you get a head coaching job?
I think personally, BA should have stayed on and slowly let the reins go. Like, give a little bit of slack, a little bit more slack until Bowles was in charge.
Do you believe it was a Tom Brady argument with Bruce Irvin? That's why he quit. Nobody knows what really happened behind the scenes.
We will never know the answer to that, but right now it looks like Bruce Arians had all the answers. Right now it looks like Bruce Arians was like, his red pen was the only thing keeping him in game.
I bet you he's laughing at us.
I don't think
that's Bruce Arians' style. I think he wants Bowles and Leftwich to succeed, because it's part of his legacy on top. Because you got to remember, if Bowles goes off and wins the Super Bowl, and then Leftwich goes on to become a head coach and wins a Super Bowl, it becomes the Bruce Arians tree. You understand what I'm saying? So his legacy bears fruit more. Stephen Glasser, you can join in. It's just it's become a big I didn't realize this one. Usually this is done in half an hour. Today we're at an hour already. Because everyone's got shit to get off their chest.
We're so pissed off right now about this freaking game. Man.
For sure.
But I really think someone got to be fired before the deadline.
What, before the trade deadline?
Yeah, someone got to be fired. Maybe one of the coaching staff, somebody, maybe special teams coach can be fired, like the Panthers. Spark up how do they spark up their team? They spark up.
I don't think firing a special teams coach, because I don't think special teams is the problem. I think the problem is we don't score points on offense.
Yeah,
fire the offense coordinator then. There we go. Who's calling the plays? All
right. Let me answer your question with a question. Do you think the Buccaneers will fire a coach that Bruce Arians, who is right now Buccaneers royalty, has gone to bat for? He's got that job. The only thing you can do as the Buccaneers is say, BA, please come downstairs and get back at it. That's what's going to happen.
Here comes walking papers. He can't get fired anyway. He's the senior advisor.
Yeah, senior advisor to the general manager. Look, the only thing that they can turn around is go, BA, go down there, take charge, get them up, get them rolling, boom. But he can't interfere with Bowles. That's the problem. They won't allow that.
I know. Do you think they can have a meeting behind the scenes though?
To be honest, I wouldn't be surprised if that's not already happening. I would not be surprised if that's already. I wouldn't be surprised if Bowles is going, okay, I will take care of the defense because that's his style. Yeah, he's defense. He's
I
not.
just don't know how. I don't know really. I still can't believe. Still, he's the head coach. Still, if we lose Thursday, I think we're just packing in for the season and start tanking. We get better. We get Bryce Young or somebody like that. Or
I've always said this: coaches may want to tank, players don't. Right now, the Buccaneers players don't look like they want anything, and that's disappointing because
that's what I'm saying. It's called tanking time.
But,
I think Tom Brady could teach this new kid, this new rookie, whatever your first round pick could be, top 5 pick. Maybe make him spark it up. I guess teach him. Wait next year, get Brady one more year. I don't know. He could roll behind him.
Right.
Hey, here's my thing. I think Tom Brady's done with the Buccaneers. I really think this is over. I won't be surprised if we retire before the season's over. I won't be shocked.
Yeah, absolutely. So before we let you go, because we've got a load of people who want to come on. So give me your biggest take. One thing you want the Bucs. You're the GM right now, Mr. Bucs Skull Gang in a house. What are you gonna do in your house to fix it?
I bet you. I just hope Byron Leftwich is fired before the season's over with.
See, if you're the GM, you're firing Byron Leftwich.
Yeah.
Who are you replacing him with?
Whatever we have as a backup for now. We're into an off-season.
Quarterback. You got a quarterbacks coach, and that's about it.
Yep. I might go look at Eric Enemy from Kansas City.
I don't think you'll be able to hire him.
We give him the most money.
I don't think it comes down to money. That guy wants a head coaching role, not a thing. Yeah. You're not going to hire someone in season.
No.
So you're going to have to pick somebody in your current coaching staff that can step up.
Do we trade for him right now? Package a first-round pick, a second-round pick, and a number 3rd-round pick.
We're going to need that first-round pick.
I wouldn't trade an offensive coordinator for a first round.
This could be the John Gruden thing. Can we package those picks, send them packing? Here we go. Turns out to be a missing piece there.
Maybe. Is that what you would do? You go trade?
Yeah.
Who'd you want?
Eric Enemy from Kansas City.
Eric Enemy. Okay. That's a fair take. I'll take that. Personally, I think the Buccaneers will just stick with house.
You have to trade for Sean Payton according to the rules if he's retired, because he's still under contract with the New Orleans Saints. I just looked it up. He's still under contract. Sean Payton, you have to trade for his rights. It will require 2 first-round picks, 2 number 2s, and probably 2 number 3s.
That's a deal I'm passing on.
For Sean Payton?
Yes.
To get us over the hump?
But when's his contract up?
You have to do a new contract when you go to a new team, right?
No. When is his contract up with the Saints?
I think 2 to 3 years from now.
So he's still under contract for 2 to 3 years.
Yes, sir. That is correct.
I would not mortgage 2 first rounds, 2 second rounds, and 2 third rounds for just a coach. I'm sorry, he's got no future to coach.
But would you do it though? Because we did it for John Gruden. He turned over. Look at this. With
John Gruden, we gave up 3 firsts for sure. And how did that help us down the line after the Super Bowl?
Nothing.
And let's face it,
exactly. When you don't have a future, it's instantaneous.
It's not our fault. We fired him after that. It's not our. We should never fire him.
He used the same plays. I mean, the Raiders used the same plays that John drew up when he was head coach there. That's what made that Super Bowl so easy for us.
I know.
He knew what he was doing.
Yeah.
And there's look. And here's the thing, guys. You've got to understand that yes, the Buccaneers traded 3 first-round picks to go and get Coach Gruden to bring him here. But after that year, all we did was dip.
Made the playoffs.
Never became anything more.
It made the playoffs.
What he does, like, it's an instantaneous thing. It has to be like that phrase that the Rams use, fuck them picks. It's got to be all or nothing. Because if you hit nothing, guess what? For the next few years, you're going to hit a lot of nothing because you don't have nothing behind you anymore. So I'm not a believer in trading that much.
You know the Dolphins
For an offensive coordinator, not at all. I think all the Buccaneers need to do to fix this problem, if they wanted to, is go and get BA downstairs and get back in front of that offense. Because I can guarantee you right now, BA did not interfere with the defense.
Can they do that if he's got a 5-year deal?
Of course they can. They can turn. Look, he's a coach. He's a de facto coach by anyway. All they have to do is make him a special advisor to the offensive coordinator. That's it.
Okay.
Okay, guys.
And then,
we're back.
Okay, I got you. I got 10 lady. See you guys later. Bye.
Thank you.
see you, man.
Good to see you.
Thank you for joining us. Okay, let's bring in Stephen. Hang on, I've got to bring in. I'll bring in two. I'll bring two at a time. So I'm going with Alec Schomburg with his little toe or foot that's injured, and then Stephen Glasgow. Welcome to the show, guys. Unload if you need to.
In my honest opinion, I don't care what any Bucs fan says out here. I don't care if I get backlash for it. In my opinion, Brady should stay retired. Clearly, he's not mentally with the team. Team is not in his definition, his mindset. It's being shown on the field this week and last week. Most Bucs fans will defend it. I'm not defending it. He's not.
That's an interesting take because most people are very much on the Tom Brady side. So I like that you've come out with this this stance and your opinion of it. But here's my question. That was some still uninspired play calling. Don't get me wrong. Execution was poor, but it was poor from receiver and quarterback. I just think the Buccaneers as a whole are sucking right now.
Yep.
We don't seem to have one thing that we can go, oh, but this is good, because it's not. I can't just put it on Tom Brady. I can't just put it on the O-line. And I can't just put it on the play calling. And I can't just put it on the wide receivers. I got to go, you know what? It's you. You
like
all need to come together.
It's like a chain reaction.
For sure. Like, don't get me wrong. I'm not saying there's no distractions, but these are like the mini stories within. And Stephen Glasgow, welcome to the show. I don't think we've met before. Give me your opinion or your assessment of this Buccaneers football team that you just saw today.
Well, I didn't watch the whole game, but I like Alec. I understand what Alec's saying. And those who know me to be a big Tom Brady fan. He is definitely 45 years old. However, he's still the best quarterback in the NFC South. Name another one that's better. And it's exactly what Slick said. Is execution. That was a straight up touchdown pass. And it was a dime that he threw right to Mike Evans. And Mike Evans tried to run with it before he had it. He tried to look to see where he was running. He bobbled the ball and he missed 6. There's another pass. He hit Chris Evans in the hands. Chris Godwin.
Yeah, I know.
Chris Godwin dropped the ball.
He's dropping a lot lately, isn't he?
Yeah. You have to have people who can execute. I mean, the quarterback can't throw the ball and catch it. And I'm completely with you. I have not believed in Byron Leftwich since the 3rd game this season. Every single game, you can tell what they're going to do. It's incredibly uninspired offense. It's very just vanilla. It's very easy to telegraph. And that's why they're having trouble. They're struggling to put up points. You got New York Giants, 4-1. Are you kidding me? But they play some really with Daniel Jones.
Did they beat the Jags?
Yeah.
I think they're playing now, aren't they? I don't know.
No, they were playing when we were playing.
Yeah.
Hold on. Jets are playing now.
No, the Giants.
Giants and Jags.
Yeah, they're playing the Giants.
Oh, that's right. It was a close game. That's right. It's a close game. But the Giants are playing inspired football. They're playing good offense with Daniel Jones.
And this is why I'm frustrated, Stephen. This is why I'm frustrated, because you've hit the nail on the head. A team, tell me right now, if you offensively, who are their best players?
On the Giants, I have no idea.
They got one. That's it.
Oh,
and
yeah,
he's living off hype. He's living off draft hype still.
But he's having a good season, but he's literally their best player, and that's the only one they've got. And they are playing inspired football as a team.
And we're not, because when the Buccaneers come out, and I don't know if you guys feel this, it feels like they don't want to be there.
Right.
They only want to be there when the moment counts. And that's when we play our best stuff. But the problem is when you allow a game to go out of hand, or I think the better phrase is you let it get loose, that's when it can get away from you. And the Buccaneers are allowing games to get away from them. And it's almost like they think they can just make it up. Oh, yeah, it's okay. We'll just make it up. Oh, we're down 7-0 at half. No worries. We'll get that. And it's like, but you didn't.
And the one thing
it used to be the big teams would punish us for it.
Yeah.
But we'd always raise our game for those teams. Now we're at a point where those smaller teams are going, nah, we're going to take you. And we're going to have you too.
It's really sad. I cannot believe that game. That game was pathetic. You were hitting the nail on the head, Slick, with that whole way that the defense played them. Like, now again, they were on the field a lot. Offense played so badly, but how did Brady put up almost 300 yards, no touchdowns? How is that possible? It was ridiculous. It's play calling. Nobody wants to see it. I love what Curry said earlier. If Byron Leftwich was a different hue, they would already be asking for his head. It's just how it is, and that's not how the NFL is supposed to be. That's not how it's supposed to be played. It's supposed to be a merit-based system. If you can't cut it, you got to go. And that's the way it should be. But for some reason, I don't know what this long leash is that he has, but I didn't think he was all that great last year. Now we see why BA had a red pen and he was going through and marking stuff up, because you can see this isn't going to work.
Stephen, just to add to what you just said, and you are absolutely right in what you're saying, is that I think a lot of Buccaneers fans felt that we were going to get this unadulterated, because we got this whole story, this big story came out like, oh, Bruce Arians comes down with one of these and he scribbles over the game plan. Right. Tom Brady hates it. And I'm assuming by default, that Byron Leftwich would hate it, but he won't ever say anything, because this is the guy that made your career, basically, in coaching, right? BA is the guy who made you. Right. So he's less likely to come out and say something, or at least leak it to a source.
Right.
And Tom Brady would. And I'm not saying it's true. And we all we were sat there with our heads scratching, is this true? Is it not? We all thought that this year we would get this unadulterated, this potent offense that Tom Brady sat there cooking with Coach Leftwich. And a little bit, and I'll be honest, a part of me does think there's a bit of Tom Brady in it, because it reminds me so much of a New England offense. It's just throws the running back, throws the running back, throws the running back, throws the running back, in breaking routes from your slot. And that's it. The difference is that I believe that our slots don't have as good as hands as Edelman. This is the only difference.
Yeah, well, I think I agree with that. Except there was a comment earlier where the person said that Brady needed Gronk, and you kind of disagreed with it earlier. And I think that commenter was correct. Even GOATs need great players. I mean, Montana had all kinds of Hall of Famers all over the offense and defense. And so even GOATs need great players. And you said,
I agree with that. What I'm saying is you can't base his entire skill set or who he is as a player. Oh, he can only win a championship if he has Gronk. Well, he's won championships without him, so that's an absolute.
That's true. He has. But a tight end is really important. You said that,
I agree, and that's why I'm frustrated that we haven't used the tight end.
True.
Okay, Alex.
That was weird.
No worries. Some people just get cut off. I'll see if he's back in. No, he's not. So, Alec, what's your opinion? What put your GM hat on right now and tell me what you would do for the Buccaneers. As wild as you want to go, what would you do? Doesn't matter.
Just have a kumbaya moment.
Okay, now I've got a vision of you.
Because you can't really. It's not really. Now, if we were like 0-6, then you could be like, okay, fire somebody. They've gotten wins. They've done it, but they've got at least they got 3 wins this year. It's not like they haven't won a single game.
And they've won against two good teams as well. Well, I say good teams. Saints is a team that's good because we struggle to beat them. That's the only reason they're good. But we beat an in-house, full-strength Dallas Cowboys, who've only gone and got better, which is insane.
I was saying, like, it's not like I wouldn't say like fire anybody because you can't really just jump to that immediately until like
They won't fix the problem, Alec. Because
it
guess what?
won't.
Your quarterback's coach is probably the same dude that believes in the same philosophies as your offensive coordinator. There might be a few differences. And I'm telling you, if there's a difference, Tom Brady today, and I'm going to bring in Stephen Glasgow again, if I can get him in. Here we go. Add him in. I just want him to hear this too. If the Buccaneers want to make that change of getting rid of Byron Leftwich, which I don't think they will, because he's Bruce Arians' guy. The special assistant to the GM, that's his guy.
Right.
It's going to take a monumental effort for this coaching staff to be dismantled. So I don't think it'll happen this season. However, what could happen is Bruce Arians comes down and helps out and is the special advisor to the OC on paper and helps him build the plays and takes that red pen and does what he needs to do. But however, if you do get rid of Byron Leftwich, what it will come down to is they won't hire somebody. They certainly won't trade for somebody like we recently heard from the most recent guest of 2 first-round picks, 2 second-round picks, and 2 third-round picks, which is absolutely insane. I'd trade that for an elite quarterback. I wouldn't trade that for an offensive coordinator. However, the Buccaneers are in a position where they go, okay, Tom, what do you like? And if Tom Brady goes, well, I like what my offensive coordinator does, then guess what? Leftwich is staying. But if he turns around and he goes with the quarterback's coach, it's just like, well, the quarterback's coach, he's got it dialed in with me and him are on the same page. That's when you can take away one guy and put another guy in.
Yeah,
so,
I agree with that.
Ben definitely has a point right there. Ben
I look my camera up. I think maybe that's what happened last time. Something about this connection got me.
Usually when an offensive coordinator gets pulled, it's usually the next guy up. And usually the next guy up is either the wide receivers coach or the quarterback's coach because they're the most dialed in into the scheme.
Right.
The quarterback's coach has to be dialed in. He's basically backup offensive coordinator, really, isn't he?
Right. Well, the problem is, though, Byron Left, BA doesn't even have to be, like, quote unquote, on paper doing the red pen thing. He could just go to Byron and say, hey, bring the plan to me and I'll go over it. No one has to know. You know,
Right.
he could do, no one has to know.
Let me help you. Yeah.
Let me help you. Exactly. No one has to know. You'll get all the credit. We'll start winning games. We get in the championship. Everybody wins. But let me help you. And if Byron's not doing that, then I don't know what to tell you. Because he definitely could use the help.
Stephen Glasgow, you've got your GM hat on. Is that one thing you would like to do to this team? What would it be?
The one thing I would like to do to this team, let me think about it real quick. Well, you know what? Let's ask Alec because I want to think about that a little bit.
I mean, it's more so like you can't really fire anybody. It has to be something.
You can do what, Alec. This is your team.
I mean, I really
you
wouldn't
can
change
do
anything.
whatever the hell you want to. If you say get rid of Brady and bring in Kyle Trask, that's absolutely fine. You may get roasted for it, but you have that opinion. You have the GM's hat on. You can do whatever you want. It's your football team, sir. What would you do?
I mean, you have if the offense isn't clicking, you obviously have to go for the offensive coordinator. So we'll obviously put him on the hot seat because the offense is different from last year. Obviously, major difference.
Yeah, it's way less lethal.
So you just go from it's like a ladder effect. You gotta go from the bottom and work your way to the top.
Mm-hmm.
The offense,
I like that.
go for the offense first. And
because let's face it, you can still win a game coughing up 21 points. You can still win games if you have a lethal offense.
Mm-hmm.
And the Buccaneers, on paper, have a lethal offense.
In order, like Panthers wouldn't even score 21 if our offense was still clicking because our defense kept being on the field nonstop. If you're being on the field after 3 and outs, it just wears and tears your defense and be like, okay, we gotta do this shit again. We gotta do it again.
Yep. You're rallying. You're constantly rallying, and it's exhausting in the heat because let's face it, Carolina ain't cold. You're in that heat, and you're going back out, going back out, going back out. So, Alec, to sum up what you just said, you would be looking at your offensive coordinator, put him on the hot seat, and see if you can get him to do something different. Is that right?
Yeah.
Steven,
I
you got my GM hat on. You can do whatever you want.
Honestly, I love that you put it that way because I was thinking about it while Alec was talking. And to be honest, what I would do is I would demote Byron Leftwich. I would bring BA in as offensive coordinator. I would go hire Odell Beckham Jr. and I said, let's open it up. I said, let's open it up. And that would be the whole thing because you're missing a playmaker. I would get rid of Scotty Miller. I don't know why. He's a one-trick pony. I said that last year. You can't get Odell Beckham Jr. Maybe trade Scotty to Houston because Houston's not doing anything anyway. Trade Scotty to Houston back for Tyler Johnson. If you got to give up something to get him, that's fine. But I don't understand how we got rid of Tyler Johnson when he was obviously playing better in camp than Scotty Miller was. He's got better hands.
I call that the Brady effect.
Yeah, and if that Brady did that, then Brady, accept that you made some mistakes. You're not quite the brightest GM in the world, and take it on the chin and keep it moving. But you don't know everything. I mean, a great example is Michael Jordan is not a great manager. He's a great player. He's not a great manager. It's some people can just do one thing really well, stick with what you know really well, and do that, and let other people do their job. But for sure, I would bring BA in as the OC. I know it's unconventional, but he's done it before very successfully. We know at least the playbook we can open up with him. And I would go get, if I can't get OBJ, I'm going to go get Tyler Johnson and give away Scotty Miller and whoever else I got to get rid of to get Tyler Johnson. If I got to give him 2 players for Tyler Johnson, I'm going to get him.
I'm not opposed to what you said. I probably wouldn't demote Byron Leftwich because it looks like it's a bad look on the team. So I'd probably do what you said earlier about having BA and him just confer and get stuff done. What I would do, and this is something I've been advocating for a long time, is I don't think the Buccaneers' problems are wide receiver. I think the Buccaneers' problems are tight end, and I think the Buccaneers should go and get a Jared Cook.
That's a great, yeah.
He's going to be dirt cheap, as we say in
Britain. You can give some players up and some late round draft picks for Jared Cook and go get him. Absolutely.
Well, Jared Cook, I don't think he's signed to anybody.
I thought he was signed.
No. I don't think he is.
Oh, well, yeah, then just go get him.
And he's going to be cheap because you're halfway through the season pretty much. Right. So if he thinks I always say to people, like, go get Sue because guess what? If Sue thinks he's a $10 million football player, he's probably now closer to a 5. That's affordable. Right. So go do it. Like, let's not, if he's available and he wants it, go do it. Make that decision.
Akeem Hicks was playing pretty good before he got hurt. So I don't really think
for sure. And that was the whole point. We wanted to get a little bit younger on that side because we hadn't really replaced him. All we did was just get another guy. We got another guy, and luckily for us, Hicks goes and gets injured, which is a bit of his MO. It's kind of what he's about. And that's just that's football. You know, some players get injured, Sue doesn't. Teresa, you got the GM hat on. What would you do?
Again, I agree with having BA confer with Leftwich. You can't have him do it on the sidelines, of course, but you have him drop some plays beforehand.
And they're all mic'd up. If he just wanted to turn around to him and say, "Dude, you call this."
Yeah.
There's
I was looking.
No one needs to know that he's talking down the microphone and it's actually BA's voice in Tom Brady's ear.
I would like to address some stuff on the defense as well because I was looking at the stats and we only had 1 sack this game. 1.
Wow.
That's disappointing.
And that was Vita Vea.
Well, the worst part was Slick mentioned earlier, 160 yards on the ground is ridiculous. And we were known for our run defense. See, that's why I think having Sue back is why I agree with Slick. That having him back would make a massive difference in the run game.
And then again, a tight end as well, because as much as this Orton is his Oden,
Kate Otten.
Yeah. He's just not ready to take on that.
I don't even know if he isn't. I think it's more of a case that he's not having the opportunity presented to him because every time they throw in a ball to him, he does pretty decent. Like he's solid.
Does decent, but they're not.
But
even with Cameron Brate, they're not doing it. You know, and Brate.
Cameron Brate dropped a few balls as well. K. Darton, I don't see that much from it, and K. Darton can block as well. I think K. Darton is the future of the tight end
He's the
position for the
future, but we
Buccaneers.
need
I agree.
somebody current.
Dynamic,
By the way,
for sure.
Great to see you again.
You too, honey. I miss you.
As soon as she saw that you were coming on, she was like, "We need to bring that guy." And I was like, "All right, we'll get your boy, and we'll get your boy, and we'll get this thing rolling."
He used
Nah.
to do the show
I'm
before.
disappointed. What happened? What is? Didn't we go get a tight end that was supposed to be awesome, and he hasn't really.
Not really awesome, but he was a guy that was declining. But I will be honest,
Rudolph?
I was an advocate for this guy in Kyle Rudolph, and he has not presented at all. The thing I liked about him, and I'm just going to go with this, is in the past he had been a go-to guy. In the past, he had been a 4-time captain of the Minnesota Vikings and a 2-time man of the year, and he can block. So I was like, okay, if the Buccaneers only get a fraction of that, they end up with a good human, they end up with a good leader to show this youth, and they end up with a guy who can do a bit of everything.
But are they even really playing him?
No, that's my point. It never panned out, and I was wrong. And that was my original guy. My guy I had to back, and I said this in the first place, was if the Buccaneers want to just pass, then Jared Cook is the guy you go to. But if you want a guy who's going to go and like level somebody in the blocking game, then you go and get someone like a Kyle Rudolph who can Rudolph who can block. And that was where I was kind of going with it. It hasn't panned out. He's been a healthy scratch, and I think it's all to the fact that the two guys in K. Darton and Kokeeft can block better than him.
Yep. So that's another guy you can get rid of. I like Ben's reminding me of something that makes a really good point. Brady, what I'm seeing in Brady is not somebody who's disinterested or not somebody who doesn't want to win. What I'm seeing is somebody who's maybe a little defeated. A
little bit desperate.
Yeah, like he knows.
You know what? That is something. You. As soon as you said that, like a little bit defeated, it feels that way from this Buccaneers team from a whole, because you always are your leader, and if your leader's feeling defeated, everyone else is going to feel it too, to a degree. Obviously, the defense less much because they're not as with them as so much, and I don't think the defense is playing massively different to where they were before. I think they're playing poorer than last year, but they're not playing leaps and bounds away from it.
Yeah.
But to put the GM hat on me for a second.
Yeah.
Here's what I'm going to do. And I've been a defensive coordinator at a very low level. It's probably considered middle school to high school level. I'm going to speak to my players and go, guys, we ain't doing the job.
Yep.
Tell me what you like. Tell me what you don't like. And they're going to go, Coach, I like this. I like that. I like this. I like that. And I'm going to get a consensus of what's good and what's not. And I'm going to take what they don't like and throw it in the trash. And I'm going to build on what they do like. And I go, okay, you like this? So what if I did that? And they go, oh, Coach, I love that. Oh, awesome. We'll do this then. And I will build a play, not a playbook, but a play scheme to a degree, taking the existing stuff that's in case, because you can't reinvent the wheel, which is why I don't believe in firing somebody, because bringing another guy with a completely different offensive mind will take months for him to implement himself. So that's not going to happen. It's going to be in-house. If the Buccaneers fire someone, he's going to be replaced in-house. That's a fact. So people thinking we're going to go and hire a coach from somewhere else, it's not going to happen. This is not Madden. In Madden, you can just go and get a guy and everyone just plays the way it is, whether it's spread, whether it's cover 2, whether it's cover 3 or cover 4. It doesn't matter. That's how Madden works. This isn't Madden. This is real life. Real life tells us, guess what? Sometimes you have to work with your players, your playmakers. I'm going to sit with I'm a defensive coach, so I'm going to sit with Levante David. I'm going to sit with my leaders and go, guys, what isn't working? I'll go, Coach, this does not work. Get rid of it. Please, please, please get rid of it. And I'm like, scrap. Done.
I got some for you.
Yes, sir.
This is from NFL Network. Sources tell NFL Network that Buccaneers quarterback Tom Brady is absolutely beside himself in the locker room right now. He just yelled, I gave my family for this, then threw a chair in a fit of rage, which hit a ball boy. The ball boy is unconscious.
Wow.
That was from NFL Network.
So he threw a chair at a ball boy?
Yeah, at one of the ball boys.
A ball boy's always going to be unconscious because he gets some money. But that's near nor there. The fact that he's feeling that, this just shows the level of pressure that Tom Brady's under right now. This team, I'm telling you right now, there's something more to this than anyone thought. I've always said, and I'll say this again, when your leader is taking days off, and people say, oh, it's not that, it's not that, it's not that. When your leader takes days off, do you take that leader seriously the next time you see him?
Well, if that leader was somebody other than Tom Brady, no.
That's a fair point, and that's you, but we're all different. Somebody else who's a rookie or somebody who's come from another team or somebody's, they might go, this cat ain't, this isn't the way he's bred, but I'm killing myself out here, and he going to a wedding. And to be honest, I'm going to put this out there. Shame on Robert Kraft for having a wedding during
Absolutely.
Shame on you, Robert Kraft.
That was
I hope whatever money you make goes down a little bit, because that was a wrong thing to do. Look, we know that you're a football guy, and surely all the guys that you've touched, or people have touched you, I guess, in this case. Yeah, it just came off my head. I was like, I gotta go with that. But you got guys who you've helped shape become human beings and helped their futures. Some of them are retired, some of them are not. You gotta give them the respect of coming in June. There's no football from middle of February to June. No one's going to get after a guy for he didn't go to rookie minicamp. No one's going to care.
Yeah.
So why don't you? Me and my wife, we got married in July.
I guarantee
July.
You want to know why?
Why?
You see his wife? She's a hottie and she's young. And I guarantee you that was led by her. Well, I want to get married this time of year. Ain't whatever you want, sweetie. I'm willing to bet you that's what that was. But still,
I go, hey, Barbados is nice every day.
My 30-year junior new bride wants to get married in October. I was just like, no, babe, this is football season.
It's football season, baby.
I'm a billionaire. You want to marry me? We're going to get married like either right before the season starts or after it's over. But we're not getting married during football season. But shame on him. You're right. But shame on Brady for going. Brady, bro, I know you love Robert Kraft, but I think you're like the only active player that was there. I don't even think Belichick showed up for that wedding. So,
yeah,
bro, come on. But here's the thing: Brady I think he wants to win, but he's got so much going on. He's having trouble focusing.
Stephen Glasgow, you nailed it, because I think that's exactly what it. Of course, he wants to win. This is Tom Brady. There's never a season where he doesn't want to win. But when you say a player's heart's just not in it,
right?
It feels that way for the Bucs, and I think the Bucs are feeding off what they see from Tom. I can't argue with it on a defensive standpoint, because the defense has nothing to do with the offense, really. I know there's some tie-in, but I've been a defensive coordinator. Trust me, most of them, they're worlds apart from each other. Players, they mix, but they're not. They're cut from two different cloths.
Right.
So it's like Tom Brady could be imploding, the defense will still play. If the defense is playing good, the defense will play good. It doesn't matter if their quarterback's playing bad. Yes, if their quarterback's putting them in jeopardy by short fields, lots of turnovers, they're playing a lot more. Yeah, that's a different thing. But that's because you're doing something physically. But on a mental standpoint, there's nothing there. And I'm just wondering if some of these Buccaneers players are just going, you know what? All this drama, is it worth it?
Yeah.
Like, we got the GOAT, but is the GOAT dialed in?
Exactly.
I don't know. I don't have the answer to that question.
I'd love to see more people in regular sports media say that, because what seems to fuel Brady is when people talk shit about him.
So let's all talk shit about him, and he just plays the
league. Start saying, man, he's obviously not dialed in. He doesn't seem to care. He's letting his team down. Let all that stuff get, and then maybe he'll snap back into shape and go, okay, I'm enough of this. Let's go and get back on track. But I don't know what the issue was today. I mean, other than drop balls and terrible play call. Terrible play calling.
Terrible play calling. I'm sorry, but Mike Evans dropping a potential touchdown pass is inexcusable. It happens though. What the difference is, Ben, you're absolutely right. That is inexcusable. But you know what? We should never have been in a position. This team should never have been in a position they relied on one play.
Yep.
You know when a team turns around and goes, "Oh, we lost the game because of the refs." You know what that tells me? You weren't good enough to beat us, so you had to rely on a referee's call.
Yeah. Yeah. Ben, you want to know how you can tell when you have a bad offensive play caller? When you have multiple weapons on offense. I mean, you have a plethora of weapons, and the play calling is vanilla. And the play calling is, that's how you know you have a bad OC, because all the things that could be dialed up with a team that has Brady and Godwin and Evans and Gage and even little Scotty Miller and Leonard Fournette, and then the kid who backs up, forget the kid's name who backs up Fournette. That kid has been playing pretty well. If you have, and he can catch, by the way, he can catch.
Oh yes, sir.
And you have all of that star power on offense, and you
muster up
doing preseason stuff. Yeah, you're doing preseason stuff. It's ridiculous. That's how you know you have a bad OC.
I agree. The thing
By
for
the way,
me,
it was a rumor. It was a
I was going to say, I've been
I'll into deep into it, and it said like the ball boy was part of the LGBT community, so they had people outside waiting to arrest him. I was like, okay, wait a second.
Wild now. This is part of the LGBT community. Oh my god, this is like a fucking media nightmare if this is true.
I was
knocked out a ball boy that's LGBTQ. It's done. Like Tom Brady may as well. It's cancel culture. Done. He's out. It's over.
All right,
Tom
guys,
I
saw that. I was like, yeah.
I think that's a rumor.
Before we wrap this thing up, because we've only got a couple of minutes left, because this thing's gone on very long. We've had great discussion, which is why it's gone on so long. So I want to thank both of you and any other guests that joined us, Buff Curry, Rick, when he joined. But I've got to spend some time with my wife. She said, I like you coming on, but I thought this was 30 minutes. We're like at the 1:30. She's throwing pretzels at me.
Thank your wife for allowing you to spend that much time. Thank you, Mrs. Slick. Appreciate it.
I'm being attacked by pretzels. But guys and girls, look, the Buccaneers are in a bit of a jip right now, and I say by jip, English language, that basically means we're in a bit of trouble. Yeah. And we got to figure that. Sometimes I forget that I use these words, and someone come up to me and went, "What do you mean by I like the cut of that guy's jib?" And I'm like, it basically means that I like the way he rolls. And okay, that's fine.
Yeah.
But
I understand.
All they got to do is let me coach.
I've been told a couple of times a few people have struggled to understand me, so I do my best to enunciate. But guys and gals, what do the Buccaneers need to fix to go into the next game? Because we got a short game. We got a short amount of days before this Buccaneers football team has to go up against a decent Ravens team.
There's only one thing, really, and I'd love to hear your thoughts on it, Teresa and Alec. They lack focus on both sides of the ball. That's what it is.
I think that is since, I would say, week 3.
Yep.
We felt like, I'd say the Buccaneers still had their eyes on the prize week 1 and 2. Yep. After that, it's been off.
I was going to say everything.
That's easy to say, though. Well, but you're not wrong. That's the problem. It's like, it's easy.
You got to be able
the touchdowns are encouraged.
But a lot of that, Teresa, you're right, is focus-based. Not catching a sure touchdown is focus. Mm-hmm. Not catching a ball when it hits you in the hands is focus. Defense missing assignments is focus. They're a very sloppy team right now.
We are sloppy.
Yep.
And we come out and look it.
Yeah.
Look at nobody's afraid of us.
Yeah, that's the sad part. A sloppy team with a very, very, very poor offensive.
So now that they're not afraid of us, turn on the burners. Let's go.
Okay. Alec, what do you got? What do you want to see? What do you want to see? What do you want to see from this Buccaneers team going into next week?
Oh, touchdowns.
His touchdowns are encouraged. Exactly. Teresa, we need to get a T-shirt of just that word,
Touchdowns
those
are-
words, and you need to wear it every single broadcast.
I think I'm going to get one that says touchdowns are required.
Yes, ma'am.
Don't be surprised if I come on here with that next week.
I
Oh, we're
want
not
you
on next week.
Yeah, I'm
to- I want
expecting
you to-
three.
yeah,
I'm gonna be real.
there's no book wild because I'm at the London game.
I'm
Yeah.
gonna be real. I'm expecting 3-5 next week. I don't see the way they're playing now. If they don't pull their heads out of their ass, they're gonna get smoked by
Right.
by
Exactly.
the Ravens. It's just gonna happen. And then I don't know what's gonna happen in London. We could end up being 3-6.
We're in Germany, baby. It's even worse.
Yeah, in Germany, they're in Munich.
I'm sorry, Germany. Yeah, I just see everybody needs to pull their heads out. It
Exactly.
really is a focus. I don't know. Maybe they need BA to come down and start cursing at guys in the locker room and saying, "What the f is going on with you guys?" But maybe that's what they need. Maybe that's not left with your
Steve,
style.
you're not 100% wrong because I've watched a lot of stuff on Coach Bowles, and Coach Bowles said someone said to him, "You're not as animated on the sideline as BA," and he went, "Yeah, but you've ever seen me in practice, and in practice he can strip wallpaper with his words."
Oh yeah.
Okay, guys, I gotta go.
Love you.
Teresa.
Love you guys.
My darling.
You have a good one.
See you later, Steven. I expect to see you on Saturday nights, huh?
Yes, ma'am. You have
All
a
right.
great one.
Hey, Steve, if you're ever free, I'm away next week, so if you wanted to co-host with Teresa,
Next week?
yes,
Let me
sir.
look at my calendar. Stay in contact with me. I appreciate it.
Okay.
Yeah, because we always want Book Wild to keep going. So
Yes,
if we
sir.
can get wild, Book is always wild, baby.
You guys are doing a great job. It's definitely wild today because of that horrible.
We got a bad taste in our mouth. We'll get that out. I got this.
All right, guys.
There you go.
It's a skull and a ship.
That's
Skull and a ship.
Go Bucs. Let's go.
nice.
Go Bucks,
Bye, guys.
baby.
Go Bucs.
See you, Teresa.
Bye.
Alec, where can we catch you? Oh, everyone's gone. I'm all on my own. All alone. Hey, guys. It's a skull on a ship. Black magic. This is what the Buccaneers need. Buccaneer football team. This is the good stuff. It's look. There you go. It's a ship and a skull at the same. Oh, look, skull, ship, skull, ship. Do you know what the Buccaneers need? And I'm going to be brutally honest here. The 5 G's. Good God, guys, get a grip. That's all we need. All hands on deck. Good guys, get a grip. Good God, guys, get a grip. Say that when you got a lisp. Guys, it's always a pleasure, never a chore. I got to spend some time with my wife. Y'all need to relax and just drink some booze because guess what I'm doing? I'm drinking some cocktails. We need to let this one just go away. We got a short week and we are back at it. Catch me on a pre-game show. And you will not catch me on the post-game show because post-game show is a little bit late for me. You guys have your games finishing in like 4 o'clock in the morning. Daddy needs to go to bed. Always a pleasure, never a chore, guys. Much love. See you soon.